Planet Wine and Company presents the quantity, the quality, and the family of the perfumes of the wine. The important thing to understand is that during the olfactory examination, it is necessary to consider the quality of the aromas, their intensity and complexity. The quality of the aromas is undoubtedly the most subjective characteristic, but in the evaluation, we will have to take into account the fineness of the wine, its frankness, that is free of unpleasant odors and basically clean, and its aromatic complexity. In contrast, the intensity of scents and aromas will result from the strength with which a scent is expressed and is called vertical perception, since the sensations add up and are perceived simultaneously. We learn, therefore, that the levels of perception of the intensity of a wine will be able to be deficient, so we will have few odorous sensations, not very intense, where we will have few odorous sensations, fairly intense, so with fairly perceptible odorous sensations, intense, with decidedly perceptible odorous sensations, and finally, very intense, with particularly pronounced and intense odorous sensations. Regarding the complexity of the aromas, we will first have to learn that this will be a horizontal olfactory aspect, as the sensations will succeed each other without overlapping, resulting in a certain persistence of the scents. So the levels of perception of scent complexity will be able to be deficient, meaning with very little succession of scents, little complex, meaning with little succession of scents that lasts for a few seconds, fairly complex, meaning with sufficient succession of scents, complex, with lasting succession of scents, and finally ample, where a prolonged and complex succession of scents will be felt that may last for several minutes. But how are we going to catalog and express verbally or in writing the sensation perceived by scents by olfactory examination? We will try to group perceived sensations by categorizing them into various families of scents in the following way. Aromatic balsamic, family of scents typically associated with important wines. Olfactory perceptions will typically be of sage, fennel, bay leaf, thyme, basil, lavender, oregano, parsley, marjoram, pine, incense, juniper, and noble resins. Floral, an olfactory sensation definitely present in young wines. White wines will usually recall white flowers and red wines red flowers, so olfactory perceptions will be mostly of acacia, hawthorn, rose, iris, geranium, orange blossom, honeysuckle, linden, violet, narcissus, jasmine, and broom. Fruity, so we will experience olfactory perceptions related to fruits such as apricot, pineapple, banana, cherry, strawberry, currant, raspberry, blackberry, quince, plum, citrus, and exotic fruits. Dried fruit and confectionery, family and olfactory perceptions definitely found in more complex wines. We will therefore detect hints of dried fig, almond, hazelnut, walnut, coconut, prune, raisin, jam, and cooked fruit. Vegetal and herbaceous. Then we will have perceptions of grass, fern, cut hay, tomato leaf, sage, walnut husk, green bell pepper, mushroom, truffle, green moss, and humus. Mineral, olfactory perception that can be traced back to the territory of origin of the wine, its soil, and the peculiarities of the grape varieties present. Spicy, so hints of anise, cinnamon, cloves, licorice, nutmeg, ginger, pepper, vanilla, and saffron. Empire eumatic roasted, special olfactory perceptions usually related to the aging of the wine in wooden barrels, so hints of smoky, burnt, cooked, cocoa, coffee, roasted barley, chocolate, caramel, toasted almond, tar, and flint. Animal, olfactory perceptions that, if in balance with the other scents, distinguish the typicality of a grape variety, if in excess represent a defect of the wine. So, we will have hints of leather, fur, game meat, and cat pee. Woody, so hints of oak, acacia, and cigar box. These are smells coming from the wooden barrels in which the wine was stored. Ethereous, olfactory perceptions arising from the fermentations and possible alterations of the fermentations themselves. Nail polish, English candy, soap, wax, and dairy products. Wide olfactory perceptions that derive from the chemical compounds in wine such as alcohol, ethyl acetate, and sulfur dioxide, often representing defects in the wine. Thus, we will have hints of flour, bread crust, yeast, butter, cheese, honey, cider, beer, tobacco, flour, vinegar, sulfur, medicinal, disinfectant, and plastic. Here ends the first video of Planet Wine & Co., dedicated to the quantity, quality, and the family of the perfumes of the wines. We look forward to the next video where we will learn to perform the gustatory examination of the wines. As usual, a strong and warm hug to all of you. Bye, see you next time.